What's up guys, Norman Zach here, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, for your information, this channel has been around for quite a number of years. I've been uploading videos related to video games, anime, my life events, and so on. However, today, I'm gonna start releasing videos that are related to life lessons and knowledge I've gained throughout my life that I hope would benefit all of you in numerous ways. So the goal here is to actually come up with educational videos that are easy to follow and in hopes that it would benefit you right now and hopefully years down the road. With that, let's get right to it. So with the whole pandemic situation, majority of us are working from home. And we know that working from home means there's a lot more distractions for us compared to being in the office. Not only that, it's also trying times for many of us. We are concerned of our job security and we are also concerned about the safety of our family and friends. And all that as a whole makes it hard for us to be at our 100% when we want to do day-to-day work or pursue anything in life at the moment. Having all that in mind, I've come up with a few tips to help you be more productive and focused during these trying times. I'll be starting from the easier ones and then we'll move on to the harder ones. Alright, so tip number one, it's a no-brainer actually. It is to listen to music that helps you focus better. Now, it may be different for me and it may be different for you. For me, I listen to jazz while I do my work. And I know some people listen to EDM, rap, hip-hop, basically just listen to whatever that helps you focus better. So for tip number two, I'll be teaching you how to work in time blocks. To be more specific, I'll be talking about the Pomodoro Technique. Now, this technique was invented by an Italian guy whose name is Francesco Cirillo. And the reason it's called Pomodoro, firstly, Pomodoro means tomato in Italian. And secondly, the reason why it's called Pomodoro Technique is because during his uni days, he had a kitchen timer which is shaped like a tomato, which is why it's called the Pomodoro Technique. Now, the technique is actually pretty simple. You basically work in 25 minutes time blocks. So for example, I'll decide to do something for 25 minutes and then I take a 5-minute break and then I continue to work again for another 25 minutes. You can do this like in 4 cycles. So after you do 25-minute blocks 4 times and then you can take a half an hour break and then start it all over again. For this technique, you can utilize any sort of timers you have. You can use your phone one, you can use your laptop timer, you can use your kitchen timer, whatever, as long as it's a timer. For me, I utilize 2 different timers. Firstly, it's a web-based timer. It's at tomatotimer.com or something like that. I'll put it in the description below. And this website is very straightforward. You have 3 tabs. Firstly is for your Pomodoro session, which is the 25 minutes one. The second one is a short break, 5 minutes. And the third tab would be your 15-minute long break. However, you can change the timing for all these in your settings. For example, if you want your Pomodoro to just be 15 minutes and you want your long break to be 30 minutes instead of 15 minutes, you can customize that in the settings. On top of that, you can also change the notification sound that you receive when the 25 minutes is over. Now, moving on to the second tool I use, which I really like and I find really interesting. It's actually an app on the phone, which is called the Forest app. It's actually a mobile app which gamifies the whole Pomodoro experience. So if you're someone who likes playing video games or unlocking achievements, this is the app for you. Now, how it works is, let's say you want to be productive for 25 minutes, you'll need to plant a tree for that 25 minutes and watch it grow. And whenever you try to exit the app, the tree will die. So that's how it encourages you to stay throughout that 25 minutes and finish that whole session. Now, what's interesting is after you finish your 25-minute session, for example, you'll grow a tree and that tree will be planted in your forest. You actually have a plot of forest in that app itself. And in that forest, you can see how many trees you planted throughout the days and weeks and months and even years. So it can be really rewarding to see that how much time you spend being productive. Apart from planting trees in the forest, you will also be rewarded with coins at the end of each session. And with these coins, you can purchase different type of trees which you can plant in the future and make your forest look more diverse. Not only that, you can also add friends in the app and you can have a Pomodoro session together. So how this works is both of you plant trees on both ends, but if either one of you leaves the app, the tree will die for the both of you. Interesting stuff. I'm going to give you 2 tips that will help you utilize this technique better. Firstly, on your 5-minute breaks, try not to go on social media. The reason I'm saying this is because when you go on social media and maybe your friends and family message you, you might receive upsetting news or news that will make you stressed and anxious. And this will result in it not being a break at all. And because of that, you're going to mess up your next 25 minutes because your mind will be stressed and anxious and blah, 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 and you're not going to complete that 25 minutes. Secondly, when you're going through your Pomodoro session and you have distracting thoughts or you have the urge to do something, do not do any of it. What you should do instead is have a notepad open, have a notebook open, write them down. Like for example, I want a snack. Oh, I just thought of a brand new idea which I feel like I need to do right away before I forget. No, just write all of it down. And at the end of the 25 minutes, you can go to it and get working on it. For tip number 3, I would like you to have an ideal work environment. Remove as much distractions as you possibly can. And what I'm saying is remove internal and external triggers before and during your productivity time. Now, you may be asking, what is internal and external triggers? For internal triggers, it's stuff that's coming from our body and our mind. For example, while you're being productive, suddenly you feel hungry, or you have the urge to reply a text. Basically, get all this sorted out before you go into your productivity mode. For external triggers, a simple definition would be anything in your line of sight that has the potential to distract you. For example, you have the TV turned on, or you have a video game controller on the table. By looking at it, you might think about games and feel like playing them. Or you have a notepad on the table which has content about work that's not related to your current work. And all this will distract you from the current work you're doing. Apart from that, what I feel is very distracting is actually having browser tabs open which are not related to your current work. For example, I have a tab open which is a news article on a video game. And then from that article, I feel like watching a YouTube video. So from there, I go to YouTube and watch that video. And at the end of that video, they recommend me other videos. And apart from that, there's also recommendations on the side of the page. So by the time you finish watching all this, you will be totally distracted and you forgot what you're working on. The next external trigger that I like to talk about, which I find really distracting, is coworkers. Now, don't get me wrong. I totally believe in doing our best with our coworkers, collaborating, working together, and achieving our company business goals. However, there are situations where coworkers can be really distracting. Now, imagine this. You're deeply focused in your work and your coworker gives you a call out of nowhere. And he or she said that it's going to be a quick question, a 5-minute call, but in the end, it takes up 30 minutes of your time. Now, you wanted to spend that 30 minutes doing other work, and maybe you had an urgent deadline to finish in that 30 minutes, but you ended up spending it on your colleague. So, to help with this situation, let me give you one advice. What you can do is you can block time on your calendar to do deep focus work. For example, like 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You can block those times and tell your colleagues not to interrupt you during those times. And during the other times, you can tell them they can contact you and you can give your full attention to them and they don't have to feel bad that they might possibly interrupt you doing your deep focus work. The last external trigger that I like to talk about is mobile phones. Mobile phones are the biggest distraction of our generation. I mean, just think about it. Imagine hearing a notification coming from your phone. Your brain will go crazy. Like, is it from my friend? Is there a new comment on my post? Is the parcel I'm waiting for finally here? Is my PS5 finally here? Is my GameStop stocks going up? God knows, the list goes on and on. And if you're low on willpower and you're demotivated to work, mobile phones are your biggest enemy. There's also a research that shows that as long as you have the mobile phone in sight while you're doing your work, it will distract you from working. Your brain needs to constantly fight the urge of not checking the mobile phone. So with that, you should hide your mobile phone out of sight. Like keep it in a drawer or put it anywhere as long as it's not in sight when you're doing your work. For tip number 4, what I want you to do is be more mindful. Now, what do I mean by being more mindful? Think about the internal and external triggers I was talking about earlier. So whenever a trigger happens to you, I want you to take a step back before reacting to it. So what I mean is, for example, if you receive a notification on your phone, before reaching out to your phone, I want you to think about, by opening my phone, by unlocking my phone, is it gonna serve the purpose of me completing my work right now? If it's not gonna help you complete the work right now, the answer is no, and don't do it. And trust me, the more you do this, it will be easier to handle distractions. For tip number 5, I want you to read The Indistractable book. Now, this book is written by Nir Eyal, and it offers a lot of insight to why we get distracted, and it also offers a lot of techniques for us to overcome distraction and be more productive. In essence, it makes us indistractable. And All the techniques and tips I've mentioned earlier only scratches the surface, but this book goes really in depth on every one of them. So please check it out. Alright guys, that's all the tips I have for today. I hope you found it useful, even if it's just a little bit. And to clarify, I'm in no way sponsored by the Forest app or the Indistractable book. I just found them super useful and I would love to share them with all of you. If you have any feedback on the channel or the content, on the delivery, anything, please let me know. And last but not least, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button, all the good buttons on the page, and leave any questions you have in the comment section and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video.